Yo, what's going on guys? It's your boy Kurt, coach of the Adelaide Absols, bringing you another draft analysis. This time it's the Valhalla League, a league run by my friend Saltfire. I'm actually helping him run it, a little bit of coding in the background and stuff on the dock, but a big shout out to Elite 4 Dan for letting me use the slides yet again, and a big shout out to Ultra Tom for the league logo. Without further ado, this was a points draft with the points being up on your screen there, with the Ubers at 65, OU at 35, Borderline 25, etc, etc. It was using Smoke and Tears because it was just easier to tier mons this way with points. But without further ado, I guess I'll get into my first pick, which was the Uber Yveltal. Yveltal's really nice with base 126 HP, 131 attack, 131 special attack, 95 defense and 98 SPDF with base 99 speed. Really nice, can be used Scarf, Life Orb, Specs, Choice Band. It has a lot of utility actually. It has Defog, Disable, Roost, Toxic, Block. It can actually do a lot of stuff. So it's not just a one moveset mon. I can run physical, special, defensive. I can really do what I want with Yveltal, which is really what I wanted in my Uber. Being able to play it on Wi-Fi with Yveltal, meaning that I can really do a lot of work here. Getting Heat Wave and Focus Blast, gets Dragon Claw for dragon coverage, Oblivion Wing with that 75% health of the damage dealt being recovered, Hurricane in the rain with that base 110 power, Knockoff with a spammable Dark Aura boosted knockoffs, Sucker Punches with Dark Aura boosts. It gets Tailwind, Taunt. I can run Sub Disable with Roost. It gets Psychic coverage. It even gets Acrobatics if I wanted to run a kind of cool set like that. I can use Z moves on this, so that could be fun one week to run a Z Yveltal and just absolutely blow something back. It gets Phantom Force, which is really nice. It also gets stuff like Sunny Day if I wanted to get fire boosts, and it kind of helps a little later on with a couple of my mons. But so yeah, that was my first pick, Yveltal. Really nice mon to just be able to pick up. I was 10th pick in the draft, so getting Yveltal at 10th pick was really nice. So next up, I decided that I would drop really low in the tiers really early. I had to be picking Yveltal. That took about half of my points away, so I had to drop into anything UU and below straight away. I couldn't go any higher because it would just cost too much. So I went with Silvally, all types of Silvally. 5 points, well $5, Defog, Parting Shot, U-Turn Momentum, base 95 across the board. The Parting Shot Momentum is really nice. It gets coverage in literally every stab through multi-attack, and it can change its typing to plug any hole on a team. It can run defensive, offensive, fast bulky support. Gets Thunder Wave if I wanted to go that way. It gets Tailwind. Gets Roar to phase, can Pursuit Trap, can do a lot of things. It's got Flame Charge to run some, to get a little bit of speed if I need a sort of Scarf set, but I need a different typing. Gets Work Up if I wanted to go mixed, Sandstorm, a lot of cool stuff like that, especially with Z's. I can run stuff like Z Outrage and just a lot of coverage on this mon. Especially with multi-attack, being able to just hit every single type, get every single type based on the drive that it's holding. Silvally was just really nice to pair with Yveltal because I could run Silvally Steel if I felt that Ice or Rock were going to be a problem. So that was mainly the idea behind Silvally, and it sort of just plugs any holes in a potential team. So next up, I went with Nihiligo, and honestly, this was more just I needed more special offensive presence, as well as Toxic Spikes and a Stealth Rocker. So this was a really nice pickup. Gives me rocks, gives me T-spikes, gives me a super offensive mon with base 127 special attack. Can be specially defensive if I wanted to go down that route. I can run a speed boosting set with beast boost, or I can run a special attack boosting depending on how I'm feeling for the matchup. Gets grass knot coverage, which is nice. Gets dazzling gleam, thunderbolt, power gems, psychic, sludge wave, sludge bomb. Just a lot of coverage on this mon, as well as hidden powers. Clear smog, if I feel like something's going to set up on this, I can get rid of their boosts. That was mostly why I picked up Nihilego. I just needed more speed, I needed more offensive presence, so I decided to pick up Nihilego. My next pick was a more fat mon. I went with the boy Slowking. Slowking here is just really nice. With its base 95 HP, 80 defense, and 110 SpDef. Assault Vest set is really nice, and also with Future Sight plus Regenerator, I can get a lot of damage onto stuff. Gets a lot of coverage with Fire Blast, Flamethrower, Grass Knot, Ice Beam, Power Gem, Shadow Ball, Signal Beam, Tri Attack even. There's just actually a lot of coverage that can be run with this. It also gets Earthquake as well as Dragon Tail, which is nice to force things out. Gets Disable, gets Magic Coat, gets Screens, gets Nasty Plot, Slack Off Recovery if I didn't want to run Assault Vest, Toxic, I can Trick Room, which could be nice alongside Sylvaly with its base 95 speed. It's just a really nice mon for my draft. Lets me pivot around a lot more, as I can switch into resists and sort of just get a heap of damage off on or something. Especially with like water psychic stabs. Hitting a lot of mons, there's not as many resists to those stabs, so that's really nice. And it pairs well with Yveltal as well, as it resists the ice type weakness. Yveltal resists its dark weakness and its ghost weakness. Electric is a problem, which is why I also picked up Sylvaly, which is really nice. So that's more why I picked Slowking, just a bit of a fat mon to sort of sit there and either phase or get a little bit of chip damage off, so that Yveltal or Nihilego can just sort of clean up late game. Next up, I picked up Scrafty. I picked this up because Intimidate, Moxie, Shedskin, 3 really good abilities. It's got base 65 HP, 115 defense, 115 SpDef, so it can be run really defensively with Rest, Shedskin, and Bulk Up SpDef set, which is something that could be fun. It gets Head Smash, Fire Punch, it gets so much coverage with Knockoff and Iron Head, Ice Punch, High Jump Kick, Outrage, Poison Jab, Stone Edge, Thunder Punch, Zen Headbutt. Also gets Dragon Dance as well if I wanted to do that. It gets Crunch, Brick Break to remove screens, Dragon Claw for dragon coverage, Dragon Tail even, Facade. This mon just hits so much, so hard. The only problem really with it being slow, base 58 speed, but then the Slowking's Trick Room really comes into play there, where if I wanted to run a more Trick Room based team, I could run Scrafty with Intimidate and sort of just sit there and be really annoying with Drain Punch and a really bulky Scrafty. It was more just the fake out support plus the bulk with Intimidate to help Yveltal alongside Parting Shot with Sylvaly and also the Slowking. So that's Scrafty. Next up, I picked up Arcanine. Now I picked up Arcanine because, again, the Intimidate, Flash Fire, which helps me if I run Sylvaly Steel, Justified if I feel like I need Dark Switch-ins outside of Yveltal, and Scrafty, which is nice. Since being a Gen 1 mon, this gets so much coverage. Extreme Speed, Close Combat, Crunch, Flamethrower. It can be run mixed as well, being base 110 attack, base 100 special attack. It gets Morning Sun, Outrage, Wild Charge, Raw. It also gets Reflect if I really wanted to run Reflect. Could be interesting. Gets Howl. Z-Howl could be fun for those extreme speeds. Thunderfang Thief, if it could be an interesting one to run 1 week. Gets Iron Tail. Just a lot. There's a lot here for Arcanine. Really nice support for the team as well, with the double Intimidate core being really helpful. The Flash Fire again, and Justified, also really nice abilities. So those last 2 picks, really nice for their abilities. But again, Nihilego and Arcanine both taking up 20 points, which was a big hit alongside Yveltal. So I couldn't get too much higher tier stuff, which led me to pick up Druddigan next as my dragon. Rough Skin, Sheer Force, and Mold Breaker. Again, 3 more really good abilities, especially with a bulky mon like Druddigan with 77, 90, 90 defenses. Alongside Rocky Helmet, Rough Skin, that's a lot of chip on the physical attackers. It gets Mold Breaker rocks, so that Magic Bounce can't stop me getting up Stealth Rocks. I can glare things to paralyze them. I can Dragon Tail them out or roar them out if I feel like they're gonna sub, just so I can phase onto rocks. It gets Gunk Shot alongside the Sheer Force, as well as Fire Punch and Fire Fang with Sheer Force. So there's a lot of moves here that really take advantage of a lot of its abilities. Rough Skin being probably one of the ones I'll use most alongside Sheer Force. Those two just really help break a lot of things. So that's probably where I'll go. I will go Mold Breaker sometimes if I feel like Magic Bounce or something could be a problem, like Levitate. Druddigan was just really nice as a pickup to get base 120 attack. I needed a dragon. I have a Steel and a Fairy in Silver Valley. Unfortunately, it can't be both at once, so Dragon Fairy Steel Core was a problem. So Druddigan, really nice, a lot of coverage. Next up, I picked up Mr. Mime, the Mr. Meme. So with Mr. Mime, I mostly picked this up just because base 100 special attack with 120 speed F, gets screens, soundproof filter technician, a little bit interesting, healing wish support, can nasty plot. The speed's a little lackluster, but with Trick Room, which is another move this one gets, gets Calm Mind, it gets Baton Pass, which is unfortunately banned, but that was something that could have been run if it wasn't. Psychic Fairy coverage, meaning it hits pretty much everything except for really ghost types. A lot of coverage, again being a Gen 1 mon, gets a lot of grass coverage and ice coverage and stuff. So Mr. Mime was just sort of a pick because I could. Next up, I picked up Tauros, and this one was, again, 3 really good abilities: Sheer Force, Anger Point, and again Intimidate. So I've got 3 Intimidate mons, I've got 2 Sheer Force mons. Sheer Force Tauros is not to be messed with. Sheer Force Fire Blasts, off base 40 special attack, I was still doing so much damage. Ice Beams, Surfs. Sheer Force boosted Body Slams are ridiculous as well as Rock Climbs. Just getting a lot of damage onto a lot of mons. Earthquake, again, great coverage for fire types. Rock Slide, Pursuit, Iron Head, Outrage, Frustration. It could even run Endeavor if I feel like running an Intimidate Sash set. Could run Refresh, which is an interest to get rid of status 1 week with Life Orb. It gets sub if I wanted to sub on something. So Tauros was more just I needed more physical attackers because I was kind of lacking them. So I picked up Tauros, and the last but not least pick, Ordino. This was just because Regenerator with screens plus Wish, Protect, and Toxic. Just this thing is so fat, so annoying to break. Can run leftovers as well. can run berries like Choppleberry. This thing gets both screens, gets Magic Coat, Pain Split, Wish, Stomping Tantrum even if I wanted to deal with Heatrans. Gets Fire Blast coverage, Grass Knot coverage, Ice Beam, Psychic coverage, Ghost coverage, Bug coverage, Electric and Water coverage. This thing gets so much coverage that it could be a real problem. It also has Dazzling Gleam, Calm Mind if I wanted to run a Calm Mind Wish set, just to be really, really fat. Encore, this Heal Bell, Healing Wish, this mon's just great, absolutely great for support. Obviously it's not very offensive, but it can still fire back a few moves, hit relatively hard. With base 103 HP, 86 defense, 86 speed F, it's relatively bulky for a low tiered mon, but you take what you can get. And being a normal type, it only has one weakness, so that's really nice, and not every mon gets fighting coverage, so Ordino can really be annoying for a lot of mons. But yeah, without further ado, that is the draft analysis for the Valhalla League. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys for week 1 when we take on the Backstab Bishops.